How's it? Morning. In terms of, I just want to, just say something in terms of injustices of the past. You know, I'm English speaking, and as an English speaking South African, we were also subjected to certain injustices. I don't like to hop on the past, but someone sent me a message yesterday, and I said I'm definitely going to talk about this, in order that people can understand. During apartheid, we as English-speaking white South Africans also never had a choice in terms of, our decisions when we were young. Just by virtue of the fact that we happened to be born in a certain place, we were conscripted into the military and or the police. And people don't understand what English guys went through in these places. There were a couple of things that you couldn't be in the military and the police. You couldn't be a homosexual, and you certainly were discriminated against because you were English speaking. And you were ripped away from your family, ripped away from everything, sent into some training camp where some short little narcissistic maniac screamed instructions at you for months and months and months, made your life an absolute misery, and then you were posted off to some place where you were expected to stand in front of bullets for a cause you knew nothing about. And I think this is an injustice that has never been addressed, and it's something that we really also need to start speaking about. Is the amount of people whose lives were completely destroyed because of this forceful conscription story where guys went to Angola, guys lost their legs, the guys were killed, guys are right now still, guys my age are still suffering because of what they went through in these places. People became alcoholics, drug addicts, they couldn't maintain relationships, they're suffering from PTSD, they're suffering from depression, they're struggling to live with themselves for things that happened while they were in these places and forced to do these things by officers and NCOs and the system. And it's really something I think that needs to be looked at and needs to be addressed so that these people can also find some kind of peace. They went through that, they were conscripted into this whole story, they've come out of it, and now let's say 25-30 years down the line, they are now being targeted because of things that they had no choice, that they had to participate in. We had no choice. You either went to the army or you went to jail, but it was as simple as that. And in terms of our society, if we chose not to go, you were ostracized from society and you couldn't function properly. You'd battle to get work. People would class you as a traitor, actually. So the options were very limited, and we went into these places and we came out broken men, broken people. And now 30 years down the line, we're still being attacked. We're still being attacked for the things that we went through at that time, over which we had no or little choice. So it's just something I want people to just give a thought to, and just be conscious when we talk about these things. All right, there was a lot of injustice, and a lot of us suffered a lot of injustice, even though we weren't black or colored or Indian. We also went through hell under that regime, and I just want people to understand that. Lekker. Cheers, man. Have a fantastic day. God bless.